Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And do we have a show for you tonight? As I look over here to my left, oh my gosh.
I'm on my best behavior, y'all. Oh, tag
that
Barbara
means
Jean.
that means it's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. I opened the door for Davey in the parking lot, and it's like old man Davey. Is there not a speed limit in town?
Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. Like, they go 5 to 10 miles under the speed limit. What are you doing? This isn't even like Sunday. I get Sunday drivers, right? You're allowed to give grace on a Sunday, obviously.
If you want to.
Well, at church they say go in peace. I'm trying. I'm being tested. That's my testimony. I'm trying. But yeah, so under the speed limit. So fun. How was your day?
My day was good. My day was good. I got hammered today. I got, not in a Troy Blevins kind of way.
God bless.
No, but I just had all kinds of stuff that I had to get done. And then I had a long meeting from 1 to 3. And when I walked out, it's like the entire world knew that I was free again.
Yeah.
And my phone lit up, and then I answered a couple of calls, and then I looked at like 5 text messages. Call me.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah,
okay.
Call me. And like
I'm on it.
How many of them were actually really important?
Well, one of them was Ellen Walden, who is our executive director at Home
She called
Again.
me flat 2
and
weeks ago.
she was on a roll today,
Ellen.
and it was like, blah, 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 blah. It was just one after another.
She was, because I can tell when Ellen's on a roll because the Home Again St. John's Facebook page goes berserko.
Yes.
We've got a lot of things. I had the Footloose that I talked about on the afternoon show today. And then we also talked about Wildflower.
Are you coming to Footloose?
We are going to Footloose for Tringale Barn, man.
You got to go, March 28th.
It's going to be amazing. Yes.
Yeah, I have you in the role of the preacher.
You do.
I have you in the role. Can you play that role, Davey?
Oh, you know what happens on March 28th?
What happens on
Sweatfest. Sorry, bro. Something comes
What time
before.
is Sweatfest?
Oh, there's no chance. There's no like getting in between. Nothing.
What time is Sweatfest?
There's no like. It's all day.
When does Sweatfest end?
7:30. It's a 90-minute spin class, sir. I am literally dead. Like
7:30 in the morning or 7:30
PM.
PM.
Yeah.
What did you tell me before the show about somebody wanting to take some time off after a big event?
Not me.
Didn't you tell him to get tough?
That's true. Yeah.
So you can't do 90 minutes and then come dance your buns off at a
Definitely
fundraiser?
not. There's where I draw the line. There's my line. I'm drawing it.
Put on your big boys, Davey. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
You should say clack your heels if you really want the generational language here.
No, my generation doesn't do that language.
I know, still in the closet. Many blessings.
We just don't do that language.
We have an incredible guest this evening, everybody.
We do, and we got to make some money for this show.
I'm very excited.
So I can pay Davey.
Wow.
So he can afford new shoes for spin class.
Ooh, very exciting.
Yes.
Tomasato, yeah.
Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been serving St. Augustine and St. Johns County for over 40 years. They're dedicated to customer service. It's evident in everything they do from the minute they answer your phone call until the time they get to your house. Make sure you're comfortable and confident about the care you're receiving from Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. Got a fleet of over 10 trucks and a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment. They service all major brands, and they do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including nights, weekends, and holidays. I think that's pretty much round the clock all year long.
Yeah, sounds great.
I think it is.
That's awesome.
Give them a call, Powell Heating and Air Conditioning, 904-794-2665. They're great folks, and they will do a great job for you.
Oh, wonderful. How about
Did you not pass on a read?
How about opening their doors in 2008? Right Away Insurance, the Casey agency, who proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major floods, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of their core values. Being insurance experts while developing strategies to help their clients meet their insurance needs, they truly enjoy the relationships that they've forged over the years in St. Augustine. We love them. They're amazing. The Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency.
Absolutely. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head on down there. Have the Jiffy Burger. Davey's niece says it's delicious.
Can I tell you a little bit about this? because since we have plenty of time. Okay, so my niece and I, we go to...
Yeah, we're a 3-hour show tonight. Go ahead.
Everybody.
Go ahead.
Real quick, everybody. This is really cool, though. My niece comes to Ford's. We go to Ford's Garage. She tries the Jiffy Burger. I film her. We make this really cute commercial thinking it's just going to go local. The National Ford's Garage takes the video and puts my beautiful niece out there front and center. She's famous. I love it. So shout out to my niece Taylor, who loved the Jiffy Burger, and it was a great moment. Yeah, it was super sweet. I'll have to show you the video since you don't social media.
Named after Davey Hartzel only.
Well, not only. I had 2 other people on that.
I know. I do
have my own line on the menu, though.
You do have your own line. All right, Salomon Services. It's the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They specialize in both youth and adult classes. They have small group strength and fitness development classes. If you've been injured, they can help you get back in shape so you can get on the field or the court stronger and quicker than you were before. They do all this in a state-of-the-art center with both indoor and outdoor turf areas, and all of their coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Give them a call today, 904-461-9945 or salomonservices.com. They're great. I was there this morning. If I fall asleep, it's because it was a really good class.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you draw the line there. I mean, when you go on to Salomon Services before Footloose?
Well, I didn't want to say I was going to fall asleep because Davey was talking, but...
Oh, that's nice. No one's ever said my voice was soothing before, yeah. I'm like the Josh Groban.
There goes Barbara Jean watching my part of the show. She'll just piece it together of just Davey clips.
Definitely.
I'm toast. I always say because Barbara Jean just loves you so much.
She's an incredible lady.
She does.
Yeah,
incredible
awesome.
Lady.
And
First female welder in Minnesota.
North of Bremen.
Yeah. Incredible. It's like the first female ever to be a welder.
That's pretty amazing.
That's my friend. I'm proud of her.
Listen, I women that get into the construction industry have my utmost respect.
Because
you got to deal with a lot to be in the construction
What do you think,
industry.
women in military or women in construction? What's harder?
Well, the military had a longer stint with no women at all. We had women architects, interior designers. We had... You had people that we dealt with that were the military, not so much. When you walked on a military base, it was all dudes.
I hope you're nice to the interior designers because it really is the most important part, honestly. It is. It's the color that you walk into a room.
We want the interior designers to be nice to us because if we don't build the structural part right, it doesn't matter how good you think it'll look, it'll fall apart. So it's a joint effort. We just want to be part of the team.
Perfect.
We just want to be part of the team. God, raw nerve there you managed to step on, Davey.
I saw it. You chuckled and you did the shoulder move, and I knew that was.
It's coming. It's coming. Ouch.
Hey, but we have a fantastic, incredible guest that is actually going to be joining us tonight for movie night as well.
Yes.
I'm very excited to invite our friend Sherrie Provence here from Limelight Theater, executive director. Hi, Sherrie.
Wait a minute. Before we got to welcome you back, but Davey sends this email out. We don't have to have Sherrie at the movie night. I'm like, we have to have Sherrie at the movie night.
That was actually your idea.
And Davey's like, well, we don't have to. I'm like, no, we have to have her at the
Trying to
movie
be
night.
efficient with her time.
Yes.
But
So
she was
excited.
like, I'm signing up. I want to be a part of movie night.
Yes, I love a good movie, and it is a good movie.
This was an interesting movie. I'm really excited to get your perspective because, I wrote a review.
Yes, Davey's not a fan.
I had
He
a
was,
little tequila when I was
live
talking to
texting
you.
me,
I'm gonna.
And I was out on a date with my husband for Valentine's Day, and he's like just blasting this movie to pieces. And
Can't
I'm
wait
like,
to hear.
Davey,
And
what is this?
I can tell that Amanda was doing something that she's not like in her Amanda mode because she was like, "Oh, good gracious!" I'm like, "Okay, she's doing something with kids," and my voice is now all over the minivan. I could tell.
Oh, no, it wasn't with kids. It wasn't with kids. Definitely wasn't with kids. It was Valentine's Day.
It was.
You leave your kids at home that day.
Bah humbug Valentine's, please. Love yourself every day. Sherrie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
33 beautiful years of Limelight Theater.
Yes.
Talk about this season. Talk about the exciting things that are going on.
So much happening. So the season's going really well, and we are opening a show this week. I'm actually in the show that we're doing this week. So we open it on Thursday night. The Drowsy Chaperone is a musical.
Goodness.
Yeah, so fun. But just a lot of silliness and joy. It's just a campy little musical, but with heart. great.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody will come to see that. And then we have 5 shows after that. So we're doing a classic, Sense and Sensibility.
Okay.
We had tons of people show up for that audition. We have a great cast.
That's interesting. What does that say to you for planning out next season? Is
I
that
know.
right? Isn't that kind of give you some
Yes.
feedback?
Yes, it does.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that means you're going to probably do like Little House on the Prairie and Music Man?
No,
Okay,
no.
thank you. God bless you.
No,
Thanks.
no,
God bless
So
you.
Sense and Sensibility then is not about the 904 Now morning show.
No, it is
No.
not.
Okay, I
For
just wanted to make
sure
sure
not.
that it wasn't about the 904 Now
Not
morning
at all.
show.
Not
we
at all.
saw, we saw the call for, auditions a day too late. My daughter was so excited and she wanted to audition, and then we looked at the date and we're like, oh no.
Oh my gosh, Sherrie, bump somebody off.
Oh, listen.
You can take care of that.
Study.
I don't know if I can do that. But then we're doing another musical called Fly By Night. Those auditions are this Saturday. If
wow,
anyone wants to audition for that, that is about that's a musical as well. It takes place during the blackout of 1965 in New York City.
Wow.
Wow.
It's going to be fun. After that, we have Rhinoceros, which is absurdism, which is going to be a little bit of a social commentary.
Yeah, perfect. I'm ready for this.
Yep. And then our final show of the season is Hairspray. It's just a great season.
Oh my gosh,
fun.
that's going to be amazing.
It
Have
is.
you ever seen Hairspray?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the movie version.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
proud of you.
Bits and
I'm
pieces.
really-
I'm not
proud of
going
my
to admit
friend.
to watching the entire thing,
Yeah.
but it did come on, and I'm like, okay, what's this all
fun.
about?
Oh.
And I watched a little bit of it.
It's a great show.
It is, it is. It's
I
Yeah.
don't know if I stayed for the end, but I did watch a little bit of it.
Damn, Edna.
That tracks.
But it is a great season, and I think that we're going to be releasing our new season in the next month or two. So
Okay. Oh, wow. So you already said, yeah. You
we
guys
have already.
So what does that
chosen it.
look like, the planning process of a new season? Is that like the board discussion and you're having roundtables going through scripts?
Actually, no, it's really left in my hands to choose a season and bring it before the board for approval.
Okay.
If there's any really questionable choices, they're like, well, I'm not, maybe.
And you're
not.
like, but we can cheat left and
yeah.
not worry about the scene. Yeah, I
But
hear ya.
it actually is. It's a really classic season.
Yeah.
And traditional shows with a couple of, I would say more innovative shows, but it's, I think, something that everyone's going to really like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's in the drowsy chaperone? Who's some of the
Chaperone.
cast members?
Jimmy and Jessica Alexander. Yes, they
Really?
are quite the thespians.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they're great on stage. And then their daughter, Kayla, and her husband, Ronnie. We've got,
Excuse me.
let's see who else. Blake Osner from Jacksonville. You probably know Blake.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Let's see. Bill Raines is the role of Man in Chair.
Of course.
Yes, he's so fantastic.
Legendary.
Who am I forgetting? I'm sorry, y'all, if I don't remember your who else? We've got several.
What role are you playing?
I'm playing the drowsy chaperone.
Oh, wow.
Yes, she's an aging starlet.
Yeah?
I don't know.
So that's a stretch for you as a young lady.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a huge
Mike.
stretch for you, but I
Thank
applaud you for playing up. I mean, that's
appreciate
awesome.
Giddy over here, very quick.
They're gonna do their
Stick
best.
with me, Davey. Stick with me.
I love
Lean in, lean in.
Yes.
Love it.
But so she is drowsy because she's taken up the habit of drinking, and so her job is to chaperone the young starlet. So it's really funny. It's just it takes place in the 20s, and the musical that you see is on stage. It's actually the man in the chair is telling the story, and so it's what's happening in his mind, in his imagination.
Is
I
this
love
a
that.
precursor to the film The Women that was
Oh
filmed
my
later? I just want to
goodness.
make sure.
Word, you're so
You'll never let this go.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
We
great
reviewed that.
answer,
We
Sherrie.
reviewed that movie, and some people really liked it.
I mean, it was a great movie.
Some
It was a
people
good
did
movie.
it.
That's a good one for you to look at,
Yeah.
Sherry. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Good period piece.
Okay.
Amanda's
Okay.
classics.
No,
Yeah, I would do Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy. It's a little better, more entertaining. But you watch whatever you want to
my
watch.
gosh.
You have no problem.
It's very different.
So you guys have a really exciting fundraiser coming up.
we do.
Talk about this. This is very special for St.
Yes,
Augustine.
I know. I feel so excited to share my friend Tony Hale with this community. He and I, he's an actor. He's a 3-time Emmy Award winner. He's won Emmys for his work on Veep, that he played the assistant to Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, his favorite. That's
the
perfect.
president.
Yeah.
Not watched a single episode. Not one episode.
You would not like it, I'm going to tell you now. But go ahead.
Not one episode.
He's been in Arrested Development,
Right,
which
he
is
was
another
Buster in that, right?
Buster
Yeah.
Bluth. He's
So good.
was hilarious.
That's
That
hilarious.
show is hilarious.
And
yeah.
then he also won an Emmy for a kids show that he did with Disney called The Mysterious Benedict Society.
Oh, wow.
And he's been in. He has a quite an extensive career in voiceover as well. He played the voice of Forky in Toy Story 4.
No way.
And then he recently voiced the part of Fear in Inside Out.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
This guy's had a huge
Yeah,
career.
he has 35 years. We went to college together back, about 10 years ago.
I love it. Yeah. work it.
Leaning into the young theory. But no, we've just been buddies all these years, and he has really helped me do fundraisers for other theaters that I've run.
Cool.
And after, last year was kind of a lean year for us after some budget cuts, and he said, "Why don't I come and do, a talk back or something that might help you raise some money," and which is so generous and gracious of him. So on March 2nd, we are doing a kind of a interview style event. Think, late night show, Oprah Winfrey,
Love it.
but me.
I love it. Okay, cool.
Me asking the questions, and he's gonna just share all kinds of fun stories, but also anecdotes, personal experiences that are very inspiring.
Are you going to ask curveball questions?
I'm gonna need to get with you on that.
Okay,
You can
I got
give me
you,
some,
yeah.
give me some help
Will
on
you
that.
ask him about playing Dr. Psycho on Harley Quinn?
Oh,
yeah.
I'll
He
have
was a
to-
TV series.
I don't know.
Really? Was it a
23
movie?
episodes. I got it right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Is it a
wow.
cartoon?
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a voiceover work, so yes.
That's
He-
amazing.
He's
Yeah.
done so much stuff. I don't
Yeah.
even know about all the things that he's done. He did an Anna Kendrick movie recently,
Cool.
Woman of the Year,
Yeah.
Hour, something like
Does
that.
he does he live in Los Angeles or New York? Does he have to be in one of those main cities?
Actually, he just moved this last year to Birmingham, Alabama, which is where
Good
we
for him.
went to school at Samford
Okay.
University in Birmingham. And his wife's family lives in Anniston, Alabama, right nearby.
Wow.
So they just moved back to where they had family, and their daughter is going to Wake Forest for freshmen in college, so they want to be kind of closer
Yeah.
to her. And so he's in this part of the country, and I'm just so excited to have my friend closer, and he's coming down.
That's cool.
Did you do theatrical stuff together in college?
We did. We were in
What was that like?
It was so fun.
Yeah?
I mean, we did it was a touring theater troupe, and he's just a riot.
So do you remember like what the big moment was? Because I mean, we all. I have a ton of theater friends that there's always like one in the group that like kind of busts out and shatters that glass ceiling and makes it. Obviously, he's incredible career.
Yes,
Do you remember that
yes.
one moment where like, wow, guys, Tony's gonna really go somewhere with us?
Well, I do remember that. He lived in New York for quite some time after he graduated, and he was just doing a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
And he did this one commercial, Mr. Roboto. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember, it was a
Mr.
Volkswagen.
Robot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's our age
it's a
group.
script.
These young
Exactly,
kids would never
exactly.
know. They would
I know,
never know
I
what Mr.
know.
Roboto was.
Yeah.
We'll
So-
explain it to you.
Exactly. But shortly after that, and I mean, he had a career in commercials. You can actually do very well if you
for
do
sure.
national commercials. But shortly after that,
Progressive lady, right? Oh my gosh,
Yes,
she's
a
like,
whole
definitely
career
whole career of
flow.
that,
Yeah.
right? Flow.
Honey, you will never act. Hold my beer.
That's the scary part, right, Sherrie? Because you can get
Yeah,
pigeonholed
you
into
can.
just doing
Yeah.
that one, and
You
that's
can.
a risk you have to take.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep going.
no,
yeah.
it's okay. He booked Arrested Development shortly after that.
Wow,
Yeah.
Buster, that's such a great
I
show.
love
That was
Arrested
the moment.
Development. Any chance you'd be willing to take a picture with me with a hook and a seal? I just asking
It's like
for my
nature,
husband.
yeah.
Bring the hook and the seal. We'll see.
That sounds awesome. Let's make that happen.
He's very. I mean, he is just so approachable.
Yeah.
And is excited to do this type of thing.
That's really
so
cool.
I'm excited.
So intimate setting. We're saying what? Lewis Auditorium.
It is Lewis Auditorium,
Cool. Awesome.
and we wanted to do it there because we wanted to include the student body and the faculty of our community.
Smart.
He has a lot of fans in that age group.
Yeah.
And I think that they're very excited to meet him, to see him, and in person, and So we've opened it up. I've actually invited some of the other colleges in the area. Reached out to their programs and said, "Come, send your students."
It's very special. I mean, we know St. Augustine Film Fest, right?
Yeah.
They come to town. I mean, you guys are doing a short film fest.
We are.
Was that some of it was last week, and is it still going on?
We actually did our first movie in partnership with the festival this last Saturday night. We showed The Hill.
How did that go?
It went great.
Awesome.
We had a good turnout. Yeah.
How long was the movie? And what's a short? What is that?
Well, that's not a short, but we
Okay.
are going to move forward and possibly do the short films in the future.
So what would that be, like an hour?
Yeah, that was an hour and a half. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the shorts can be anywhere from, it can be anywhere from 3 to 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Because sometimes, you see the Oscars and they have, best short. And you're like, where do I see
What's a
short
short?
film?
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful, actually. God. Titanic, like 9 hours long, some of these epic movies.
Oh.
But
I found the Mr. Roboto commercial.
Oh my
I really
gosh.
want it. It's so funny.
are you putting it up?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, this is Tony Hale
Yeah.
in Mr. Roboto.
I muted it so he wouldn't get copyright
Oh,
struck. but he's so
perfect.
Oh, great. Well,
He's so
that's the
funny.
one. That's the one. Yeah.
So
he's
can you paint the picture a little bit about what the evening's going to look like? Are you you're saying, like you said, kind of like an Oprah moment, sort of like 2 chairs on the actual stage?
Yes,
Okay.
it's going to be just general seating for people who come, and we'll do about an hour of just questions and answers from me to him,
Okay.
and he'll share stories and all kinds of fun things that are on his mind and in his heart, and then we'll do a little Q&A from the audience.
That's cool.
And that'll be fun for students and just audience members to ask questions that they're curious about. And
Now, the money obviously in this career is in film, TV, and commercials. Would you think Tony ever consider going back to the actual theater itself?
well, he did a one-man show out in San Francisco a couple of years ago, and I actually flew out there and saw him in it. He was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
called Wakey Wakey.
Cool.
And so he did that through ACT in San Fran, and did a great job. But it's one of those things where it'd be a special
Yeah.
show.
There's nothing like live theater. I mean, honestly, it's the Olympics of, being a thespian and getting out there. It's really difficult.
Thank you for saying that.
You've got to be ready. You've got to be on point. You've got to know your lines, and you've got to be able to, be a different character. Where film, there's a lot of stop and start. You get to reset, you get to regroup.
Yeah.
But I just find it so funny. It's like you work so hard in the theater because it's such a beautiful art. And you are taking us to different places in St. Augustine, which I love to see every year. So he's something fresh and bright. And I mean, we know the great Bro Strange.
Yes. That's what I was
Rekindles his
wondering if he was in any of these. So, yes.
No, I'm hoping he'll come and audition this Saturday for Fly By Night.
Oh my
He
God. You
want me to
teased and
text
said
him?
that- yeah, please. do.
I will
Let's
text
do
Bo.
that. Yeah,
I got
let's
that.
text
I'll
Bo.
text Bo.
Let's tag Bo in this conversation because
I love
honestly,
it.
I saw him on Hands on a Hard Body. Incredible show.
Great
It was
voice.
an amazing night.
Well,
for
and
sure.
we've given him several shout outs, but a couple weeks ago we had a hot water heater go down at Home Against Veterans Village. And they had no hot water. And it went out in the afternoon, called up Bo the next morning and said, hey, is there any way we can get a lovely Lou over there that has, we can hook up to hot water? And he's like, I got you. We'll have it over there.
Wow.
Ran it over there. He said, let me see what size fits. I got 2 of them here, brought one over. And so we had hot showers until we got the hot water
He's the
heater.
best.
He's just awesome.
He has
Awesome.
helped
Just
us
a
out
great
so
guy.
many times at the Limelight too.
I love
with
that.
situations. Yeah, he's a great guy. Just a great
Yep.
person.
So I saw you obviously talked about partnering with Flagler College and getting some students and faculty there. What was that, like, first 200 tickets or
Yeah.
something? What's that all
Yeah,
about?
we've got a section that's just dedicated to them. 200 tickets for whoever wants to come.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they just
That's
kind
so
of
cool.
will
I
collect
love
the
that
coin at the
students
door.
get that option
Yeah.
because it is tough, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember being a student and like you
Broke.
want to see kind of like these cool
Yeah.
moments and you can't afford it if
Yes.
it's $100 a ticket or something.
The
which I think
only
this is
way
50,
I
but-
got to see Jimmy Buffett when he came and performed on my campus was I knew a path out to like the Way Perimeter Road. And so from my perspective, Jimmy Buffett was performing on top of the porta potties. But like I still got to see him.
See?
It was just very far away and he was dancing on top of a lovely Lou that wasn't so lovely.
Oh my goodness! I saw
Not
a
as
couple
lovely as
people in the parking lot at the
those.
Taylor Swift concert too. I was like waving at them. Cool. You just rolled your eyes.
No, I'm just laughing because I went to Florida Southern and the Lakeland Civic Center was a big, and all these rock acts would come through.
Yeah.
So my freshman year, we've got one guy in the dorm, the quietest guy. He grew up to be an accountant, right? He's the quietest guy. So the first week we're there, it's like, man, that guy's really quiet. And I ran up and said, where are you going tonight? I'm going to the Twisted Sister concert.
Oh,
It's like,
so good.
Okay, maybe he's not so quiet.
That'd be a great show to see.
Yes.
But Sherrie, I also see, some VIP experience.
Yes.
What's that all about?
So for those people that are super fans, want to meet him more up close and personal, and our sponsors, we are giving VIP passes to. And that is something that tickets are still available. I mean, we do have a max that are allowed over at the Casa Monica. But we are just going to do kind of a drink and dessert reception for another hour following the event. And Tony will just be there mingling and
That's so
Nice.
fun.
meeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he been to St. Augustine before?
He has.
Oh, so he knows it. Okay.
Yeah, he came early January.
Great. So we got
yeah.
to see Nights of Lights. What a special time of year
he
for
did.
people. Yeah.
He did. Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
fun. He came to see.
I'm still in therapy over this shit.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you're one of
Thanks
those.
for that.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh,
It was
but-
awesome though. That's cool that he got to see the
He
town
did.
when it
He
was
did.
actually lit up. Yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. Well, events like these are really super crucial. I guess, obviously it's a fundraiser for Limelight. Talk about like what the funds are really what you're trying to raise, what you're
Yes.
trying to focus on.
Thank you. Well, I mentioned the budget cuts from last year, and that was really kind of our hope was to make up the loss, and that's the goal in this event. And we have found that in many years past, they've done like big once a year galas. And I think our new approach and our new tactic is to kind of break that up into smaller events. And we may still do a gala, but this is one of those.
I think it's smart.
Yeah,
I'm
just
going to give you
doing.
my opinion. I think that's really
Yeah,
smart.
no, I think.
Don't bring back the celebrity cabaret.
I've heard about
Don't
that.
bring that back.
I've
I'm
heard
just
about
telling you right now.
I'm hearing a lot of with organizations out there that attendance is really the issue. And the money is good. People will definitely stroke checks and make sure that the fundraising effort is. But to get people at these events is going to be, and especially knowing our town, a dress up gala is another
Yeah.
different. When are you going to be in a, you know what I mean? You don't, please. I mean, not even for
Every
He's not going
Saturday
if
night,
there's
I put a
tux.
tux
No,
on for
you
dinner.
do
We
not.
come out in a ball
You're a
gown and
fibber.
tux. We define that
Big
China.
fibber.
Wow.
And we eat in the left wing of the house, which has all of the big
left
table.
wing.
And
It's the only time you're in the left
That's
wing.
the
I
only
gotta tell you
time.
guys,
That's correct.
real quick, when I moved to St. Augustine, I lived in Lincolnville, and there was like one of those half a cottages behind a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lady that had the main house would like leave me these handwritten cards on my screen door, and it would say, "David, please meet us at the west porch for drinks on at around 4:30." I was like, what? Honey, you have a house, and it's on the right side of your house or the left side of your house. What is this west wing of the porch?
It's called the Grand Porch. Thank you very much.
Apparently, I
Grand
missed that
porch.
memo.
Yes.
You don't know what kind of porch she grew up with. This is probably huge compared to what she had as a small child. So you have to
deal.
embrace that.
I did. I showed
a
up
big
for
deal.
for my little martini moment. Ugh, yeah, that was a
Yeah.
moment.
I bet that was a moment.
So good stuff. Any other things that will there be merch or anything like that you guys will be selling?
Yes, we're going to have a digital auction. So we
Cool.
will have some things that have been given to us to auction off. We will also have his publisher. He wrote a book, a children's book called Archibald's Next Big Thing.
Really?
And it actually is an animated show on Netflix.
Cool. That's cool.
And of course, he voices Archibald, and it's a wonderful book. And his publisher sent us 100 copies of it. So
That's
he'll
gonna
be there. And
Will
he's
he
gonna
be
sign
signing
them.
those
Yeah.
copies? That's great.
That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
we're gonna have that.
awesome.
That's fantastic. That's a really, really good show.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I was just saying we need to do a better job of promoting when
And he's
when
a
your shows
celeb,
are hitting and
you
stuff.
know?
So yeah,
He's a celebrity.
I know Davey does it all the time because he's amazing and never forgets anything. But some of
Davey.
us get busy.
Hey, I listen to Renee Unsworth all day long, totally St. Augustine. That lady will be
course.
like, Davey, can you give a shout? I was like, I gotcha. So yeah, that's how this town rolls. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
But talk about Limelight. Talk about the future. I mean, you can't obviously reveal the next
No,
year.
I'll come back again and tell you
yes,
the new
I'm
season
ready for
whenever
the
you-
ribbon cutting of that moment. But can you hint a little
I
bit?
can.
Okay.
We have chosen to do a theme
Oh,
for
okay.
the season, and it is going to be a season of faith.
Oh, I love this.
Faith in humanity and love and your higher power. And I think that all of the shows are going to, are just going to revolve around that in some way. And I'm very excited. We're doing 9 shows this year. We only did 8.
Wow.
So it's going to be jam-packed.
Yeah.
And we're doing 6 musicals.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how is the theater doing itself, the building structure? I know a guy.
I know. We are 50 years old this year.
Yeah.
That building
looks great.
Yes,
So the Botox is holding up over
It
there.
is. Thank you very
It's
much.
more like spackling and stucco.
all day long.
yes.
We did put some money in our building this year because we had a wonderful philanthropist that gave us a big chunk of money, which fortunately, she did because we needed a new roof and new electric panels and some of those non-glamorous things. But
which, thank goodness, nonprofit. I mean, honestly, that probably saved you guys $100,000.
yeah, well, we got insurance.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So that's important. But we were very grateful for that, and so the building's in good shape until our next air condition goes out. But
yeah,
that's the one thing. I mean, we are the oldest theater in St. Johns County.
Yeah.
And we are the only one that has our own building. So that's where a lot of our money goes.
Yeah.
Not into programming. So
Definitely not into salaries.
definitely not.
Of course.
So if you'd like to donate to salaries, Sherrie would like you to call her.
I had an awesome conversation with the world famous love her to death, Lorna McDonald from Raintree, who absolutely adores Limelight Theater.
She's on our board.
And that is such a classic thing in our town, is to have dinner at Raintree and then you go see a beautiful show at the Limelight. How is that partnership? Is that still strong?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in fact, she's donating dinner for 2 for the Tony Hale event.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is a great, if you ever are interested, anybody listening that wants that deal, all you have to do is ask us about it when you call for the tickets, and we'll hook you up with dinner and a night at the theater.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, she's absolutely awesome. I was looking. We're going to dinner, Darcy, at the Raintree tomorrow night.
Oh, great.
I was like, when does the show open?
Yeah.
Because then I was like, but it's not till Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm very disappointed. Now I got to come back into town on Saturday.
Oh,
so,
darn.
Yeah.
But we do have a preview night.
Mm-hmm.
When is your dinner?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, well, that's friends and family night.
He would actually ask for, if he could have his own private. It was that possible.
Personal.
Can I have the Davey Hartzel suite
Excuse
to watch?
me,
I just want to watch
Troy Blevins. I'm pauper. I'm in the street. Yeah,
Troy
please.
Blevins hasn't seen the inside of a theater ever.
True story. Oh my goodness.
Not anyone that you could show anybody else what he saw in the
That's true.
theater.
Yeah, your shoes stick to the bottom on that
Yes.
one. Yeah. So good stuff, Sherrie.
Yes.
Where can people go to get tickets? Find out more about Limelight. What's the good connect on that?
Our website is limelight-theater.org, and that's theater spelled fancy with the R-E.
Excuse me, that is the correct way of
Very
spelling it.
fancy, yes. Limelight
Some people in
Theater.
construction do ER, but I like to do it RE.
Yes, we're fancy.
You know how I spell theater?
No.
M-O-V-I-E.
MOVIE, you're a hot
But it's
mess.
all on the website. So,
Great, I love that.
For shows and for the Tony Hale event. So,
What's a good goal? What's a good shout for the community for the Tony Hale event?
you mean just how to incentivize them to come?
Yeah. Like if someone's on the fence right now, what would you say to them?
Well, how often does a 3-time Emmy Award winner come to St. Johns County?
I love that.
Yeah, come and welcome him, because that's what we want to be known for anyway, right?
Yeah.
We want a good showing, and we want people to just hear from somebody that's not here all the time, that we might. I mean, and not to mention, I obviously, he is my friend, and I think he's amazing, but I would not be bringing him here as a guest if I didn't think like, wow, he is a special person that has something to give this community.
True.
And I want everyone that can to be there to experience that.
I especially want all theater students to come out to this.
Yeah.
Just to hear the journey and the survival and the perseverance. I think that's going to be so inspiring. That's going to be great.
He's been on so many programs through his life where, like, PBS will have him on, or NPR, and he talks about like his journey through like anxiety. I mean, he goes there and he has that comedic way of delivering all of this really truthful, vulnerable, and poignant information,
Love
all
that.
in the context of his career in comedy.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So much fun. When is the date again?
March 2nd
March
at
2nd.
7
up.
o'clock at Lewis Auditorium on Flagler campus.
I love it. Very cool.
So
Good
he needs to
stuff.
be in town for Florida Man games.
I mean, hello. We need to get him out to the field. That could be
Right?
fun. Can he wear a diaper and a helmet at the same time?
Have you seen Arrested Development?
Exactly. Let's get Buster out there.
Oh, Buster.
I think I understand. He's competing in Florida Man games, and then he's going to do the show on Sunday. He might win everything that weekend.
Oh,
So
wow.
funny.
Good stuff. Well, I guess we'll segue into our MOVIE chat. You can lead the way here, our shepherd.
Were we supposed to do that this week?
You didn't watch?
Were we supposed to do that this week, Davey?
Good thing I'm here, Mike.
Will you give me notes? Will you slide me notes across it? Davey, I
Missed it?
watched.
Okay. It's not my movie, so don't blame me.
I woke up early Saturday morning, and so from like 4 to 6 in the morning, I watched it. So
Were you by yourself, or was Darcy?
Oh, Darcy said I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I don't
so
blame
she's,
her.
no, not watching. I said it was actually a really good movie. You should go watch it. You would enjoy it. So I thought it was a very interesting movie.
Interesting is a good word. Amanda, please
I thought
lead us in
you
this
did it.
discussion.
Oh, I can't wait for your review.
Oh, Davey hates it. I can just tell you right now. He hates it.
I mean, that's my
So-
questions.
We're saving Davey for last.
Yeah, that's why he kicked it
Yes.
to you and then me.
Yeah, we're saving Davey for last.
So, I really connected with this movie in my late teens, early 20s. And
Mhm.
I just have always thought that it's beautifully shot. I love the costuming. I love the location. Vanessa's so romantic in and of itself. This was before I was married, so the adultery part didn't bother me so much.
You and everybody in
once-
Venice. All right,
once-
I'm ready.
He's so mad.
It's not for children. This movie is not for
it's
children.
not.
Why do I envision Davey on the side of the church in this movie?
I really am. I really am thinking about it. I
As
had
much
these-
as you laughed about Oliver Platt being in this movie, and you are Oliver Platt.
in this movie.
I love
who
Oliver Platt
cast
as an
him?
actor. I do love him as an actor.
He
But I
is a
just,
great actor.
why him? Of all actors they could have chosen, they chose Oliver Platt for that role.
Yeah.
He's
They were
believable
prepping him
in-
for the Disney version of the Musketeers. He played the
Apparently.
same guy as a Musketeer.
No, he
Yeah.
did not. He played he was very douchey in this movie towards the end,
He
right?
played the same guy as a Musketeer.
I didn't watch it. I was over Oliver Platt after this movie.
It's
No,
so-
I will give it some merit, so go
All
ahead.
right. All right. Well, I thought that it's a beautiful story. The story hits different when you're married in your 40s than it did when I was, 19, 20.
Ooh, let's go
But-
into that.
But because obviously the adultery
And you have
bothers
I have a
me.
daughter. My God, how'd that
I
make
have
you
a
feel?
daughter, yes,
You
I
wouldn't
would-
be teaching her.
I would not be showing her how to do a hand job. That's
That was
that's
crazy, though, right? That was like Mama Bear teaching her how to do all the things.
That's a desperate woman that needs
Yeah.
to be fed,
Child.
and she's throwing her daughter to the wolves.
I
and-
needed more
but
desperation
doing
out of her
so-
then.
Well,
She
What are
looked
they
too
gonna
done
do?
up to be desperate. You know what I mean? I needed Mom to be a little bit more desperate.
they weren't destitute enough for you. They weren't Cosette enough for you.
They were not Cosette enough for me.
I know, but
Davey,
it really wasn't about image. It was more about
No.
classism.
True,
you know,
true,
like
of
it's
course.
such an expose on.
For sure.
Yes, and Davey, they didn't have trailer parks back then.
They did
So
it.
lighten up.
So then I'm the Lot Lizard Association king. So of course, I represent my ladies. They have a wonderful experience every time in all the different rest stops in town. But I'm just saying, I just thought, wow, what a story. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought the story was way too big for how short the film was. Is that could you give me that validity? I felt like there was a lot going on in such a short period of time.
It's condensed because it is based on a real woman. This woman really did exist. She really was a poetess. She really was trained to be a courtesan by a courtesan mother. She really did have this extensive
I didn't know that was
clientele.
real because I thought it was
That's real.
Mary Magdalene. I thought it was a connection there.
She published 2 books of poetry, and in one of them There were 2 poems directed to the King of France, so that's where that storyline came in.
Right.
So yes, the dialogue was a little over the top, and Davey was like, "Oh my goodness, this movie's hilarious." Like I
It was
get
hilarious.
that the dialogue's a little over the top for a cynic drinking tequila.
I was drinking while I was watching this. I do want that clear.
But,
Yeah.
like, this does tell the story of a woman that really lived, and she was an early feminist back when feminist meant equal rights and not what it necessarily means today. I have issues. That's my problem. But that's why this movie was made, because she was advocating for rights of women. She was advocating for access to education for women, and that women aren't to be locked up and subjugated. And so it's a sexy way to tell that story, because she was evidently incredibly good at her job.
I mean, obviously, look at that courtroom filled with the men who had to stand up, right?
Yeah, even the old geezer.
I mean, everybody. She literally, like, the sky was the limit there.
Oh, she made some people stand up.
Oh,
She
yeah.
did, but it took them a second. I mean,
Stand and
obviously.
deliver.
But she was that good that they stood up. They were like, yeah, she's worth it. Let's all stand up and let's give her freedom of, being promiscuous all throughout Venice, right? I mean, like, what's your thoughts here? Anybody?
I just think that the love story was really beautiful. Also, I think it hits, in a situation of what you can't have the love that you really want. So it makes a person do desperate things.
Yeah.
And
My
I
only
think,
love sprung from my only hate, so releasing the known too late, Romeo and Juliet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and to say that about Romeo and Juliet, I did feel that there were some elements of that in
Right,
there from
totally.
2 different places.
Because they were star-crossed lovers. They couldn't really actually
exactly.
That I will give you that. The love story, I definitely love that love story.
Okay.
Because he definitely fought for it, and so did she in her way.
And he
Although,
saved her.
He let her down so many times.
Yeah.
Like there's so many
But
times
so
when
did
he
she,
was
too.
But he was also the product of the system that he was in.
Yes.
He was a wealthy senator, all that, but he had so many expectations put on him. He had no freedom to choose what his life was.
Right.
Yeah.
And even when he tried to make the stand for her against the Doge and to try and stop the Inquisition, which that did actually happen, by the way, like the Doge is like, no, you can't give up your position. This is your position and you're stuck. So like you can't, you're just going to ruin yourself, and it's not going to save her anyway. And so he's actually kind of puts on his chains again and he goes out, but he does ultimately make the stand. So yay for him.
I thought there was a lot of really great writing. I mean, aside from the poetry.
To get as much content as they had to get in this short amount of time. Yes, I agree with you on that. Yeah. And it did. It rolled quickly, but I felt like there was so many things in history.
It could have been a mini series.
It could have
for
been
sure.
a mini series.
Yeah,
That probably would have done it better for me. I would have liked to have seen more intimate moments. Little Red Shoe Diary. Little
Right? So you want to watch the Thornbirds
Game
and
of
then this.
Thrones.
That's what you're saying.
Yes, Game of Thrones. Sherrie knows. Yes.
Thornbirds, the costumes though were amazing.
The costumes are
The
gorgeous.
costumes were amazing.
They
Yes.
were. They were.
Well, I thought, okay, so
Okay,
from an
Mike.
acting standpoint, though, you look at this cast, and it's really kind of an interesting cast. You got
really
Jacqueline
is.
Bisset, who was kind of looking for work at that time, right? 'Cause she's an older actress. You had
Seasoned.
you had Fred Ward.
Thank
You had
you.
so many just
Thank you.
straight up Americans playing people in Venice, right?
Right.
I mean, it was like Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, right? It was like,
Right, I
you're,
could've
you're
used-
looking at this
still
cast
fine
going,
with, by the
what an
way.
American cast. What an American cast. is that?
Kevin Costner and Robin.
Yeah.
That was great, though.
So
that was
when
the movie
when I
back
saw
then.
like Oliver Platt was the only one trying. Like all the rest of them were just straight up English dialogue, and so
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of the way they made films kind of at that. And now they'll do subtitles and all the other stuff, and they'll get them to speak the language. It's just different. I will say this is the only movie, probably in the history of movies, that'll ever be made where Naomi Watts gets dumped for somebody else.
Right?
The
That's
only
so
movie
funny.
where Naomi Watts gets dumped for somebody else.
Karen Kidman, they were roommates. And they really, it's just.
I'm looking for her in the movie, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
can't be her. She looks so homely. And I'm
beige couch with the beige
King Kong would
pillow.
never have fought for her if she looked like this.
I love Naomi Watts in some movies. This one, I didn't love her performance in this one either because they didn't give her much justice on this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that
was
was
the
her
character,
role.
yeah.
Her role was to be, do you remember Coming to America when he's trying to like interview his intended fiance at the beginning of the movie, and he was like, what do you that
Bark
whole
like a
scene
dog.
happens.
Arf,
yes.
arf,
And
arf.
it ultimately goes to bark like a dog because she's been trained to be married into this position and to not blow it for her family. And so like she doesn't want to say anything that's going to rock the boat. She doesn't want to say anything that he's going to deem inappropriate. And so she's trying to just reflect whatever he wants so she doesn't ruin it for her family, because she's also stuck also. If he denies this marriage based on their interaction, then like she's going to be disgraced and she's got no hope for she'll end up being a courtesan and not want to be.
But was that the only way of getting a man to listen back then, was to sleep with him?
Have you not watched Grease? Have you not watched the modern version of Grease? Have you not watched? Okay, yeah, that's the only
neck that
way.
turns the head.
Oh. I mean, I guess it's just a tale as old as time, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
I'm innocent, everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah.
so I thought Rufus Sewell, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. If you've watched The
Marco.
Diplomat, he is the husband in The Diplomat
I've not seen
to
that yet.
Carrie Russell.
Yeah.
And he's like not a bad looking guy in this, but when he gets to The Diplomat, it's one of those classics. The dude just aged well, right? He's supposed to play the hot
Botox.
older guy that everybody's in love with,
Good
and you're
for
like,
him.
oh my gosh, it's
So
like it's,
annoying.
so I'm looking at him in that, I'm like, why are you wasting your time? You should just date him when he's a diplomat later, right? But anyway,
Well, she doesn't survive Braveheart, so she can't do that.
yes, she didn't. The other one that was interesting is she sleeps with the king to save Venice.
Yeah.
But Venice was about to let her go down in flames.
Right.
I'm like, seriously,
Right.
Thank you.
how many of you were saved from the Turks and the Sultan, and not one of you goes to the place, hey, she really got the English to fight for us against the Turks, so maybe you just ought to give her a papal dispensation for this thing and move on.
And
right?
let her continue on with the proclivities of uniting everybody in Venice together. And where's the wives here?
That's the line that you hate. Let me leave this woman to Venice, which richly deserves her. So Davey hates this line because he's
hate this line.
everyone in Venice can just F this woman.
Right,
No,
that's exactly what I said.
That's not what the line is.
Hey, but that's how
not
it's
what
taken. It's how it was
means.
interpreted. Maybe I'm
So,
the King
her
James version of this
crime-
movie, but I'm just saying. They're basically saying they can drive through twice, park the car in the garage, get out, have a cup of tea, and then move out of her house, and then somebody else moves in like a conveyor belt. And they're just letting it happen.
False. 100%
Oh,
false.
incorrect.
So what they're talking about here is it's just a matter of what crime she's getting charged with. So is she being charged with witchcraft, which falls under the purview of the Inquisition?
Of course.
Or is she being charged with prostitution? And that's not a church matter. That is a state matter for them to deal with. So that's what they're saying. They're saying, this isn't my jurisdiction. I'm going to leave her to be dealt with by Venice the way Venice sees fit. And he's kind of disgusted about Venice by that point. And so he's not saying for everyone to just like run a train on this woman.
They were
They're
like,
saying-
yay! Oh my gosh! And the cheering. They're celebrating that they can get back to their own.
I wanted to look up how many children that Pope had in real life.
For real.
That's what I wanted to look up. I didn't spend the time to do that kind of deep dive, but I'm really like watching him say, I'm like, okay, how many kids did you have? I mean, did you really? I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Veronica had 6.
Exactly.
Yeah, she had 6 children.
And
Did
she
she?
kept
So
going.
that little elixir didn't help.
My
well, that was
goodness.
kind of funny for me. They glossed over that part of
Yeah.
it. I
Thank
was
you.
wondering, I knew that someone, so here's something that none of you have talked about yet,
Oh my
right? And to me, it's a theme that runs all the way through. The theme about female empowerment. I mean, by doing all those dirty things, she got to read books and she got to learn, which a lot of the women in Venice they talked about did not know how to read.
And they
did
were
not
coming
have
to
any-
her for the information.
Yes, for all kinds of information.
They were a little tempestuous, which I'd have been a part of that committee.
but there's a theme that runs through this besides that, and it's duty over love. Right, where they're all marrying and doing what their duty is. She even
Yeah.
does her duty and sleeps with the king.
Right.
Right. They do. And as I'm watching, I say, is that why there were so many romantic writers or people that wrote about love at that time? Because you couldn't marry the
It was
person
so
you wanted
repressed.
to, right?
No.
And if you think about all of these love stories that were written and people that wrote poems, there was a lot of that came out of this era. And is it because there was more of that than we realized? Because today you meet somebody, you fall in love, and you marry them. You don't have to go home and ask your family, hey, can I marry this person? And your family goes, no.
My
they don't
niece
have
is
enough money.
watching. He needs to ask permission. Yeah.
Yes. I do think she alludes to that in the end in one of her end monologues about the dream of love.
Yeah.
And she talks about the dream of love. But I do think as far as duty, having to help support her family and I mean, we don't, talk about this in our everyday conversation in America, but there there are places in the world that they still prostitute their children because they are trying to help
True.
survive.
Absolutely.
just about
And yeah, so that's not even something that's completely.
I mean, I'll even tie OnlyFans into this mix because there's moms out there that are surviving
are.
with a webcam.
they
That's
are
true.
pimping their children.
So, but is that the new age courtesans? What I want to tie this in is like modern day. Is that where this has evolved? And they're getting power, they're getting money, they're getting respect.
Well, it's the oldest profession. I mean, but
Does that change your perspective?
To go back to what Mike said about these courtesans, because they were doing these carnal things, they got the privilege of an education. Not all of them did. So there were 3 levels of courtesans in Venice. I did a deep dive on the history
I
because
like
Davey
this.
was mad. All right, so
You asked for this, and now you're going to listen to it.
Fine.
so
We could have not heard any of this, but you did this.
her level was called, I'm not going to say the Italian word because I'll butcher it, but it translates to honest courtesans. And they were intellectual sex workers. They were allowed to be educated, and they would challenge their men and paramours. They were allowed to be as educated as men. And so that was the honest courtesan. Then the next level was they had a different name I can't say. The Cortingiana de Lume. I don't know. I can put it in the comments if you can speak Italian. And then the last level were the harlots, and they were the lower class.
My people.
And they were the ones that, any maiden can flop down and open her legs that mom's talking about.
But
So
how
those
do
are
you
the
move
harlots.
up into that society? What do you got to get? Like, you got to charge more?
I guess you got to know somebody.
You got to
is
know
what I'm
somebody. You
saying.
got to strip a king.
So she was the mom was the inside track in that. And something to what you said, they kind of glanced past a bunch of stuff. So they show her first time with Paolo, and that they won't all be Paolos, they won't all be sweet, and they won't all care about your pleasure as well. So mom does her a solid in that she books someone good for the first time. In reality, she married him. He was a doctor and she married him. They were briefly married. And so that was her first foray into the world, was
that open
married to
relationship
this
or no?
physician, and they didn't stay married for long. And then that was when she was full on courtesan action.
Oh, no, I see. Okay.
I love this backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
All right, so there's one other comment I have.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the love story,
Waiting
is very,
patiently,
is
I
very,
love that.
well, I am. You guys have some great comments. But in the love story, you could tell they truly cared about each other. They had this kind of fascination for one another.
Yeah.
But he just straight out dumps her. He just straight out dumps her.
Like, how do you recover
You are
from
not
that?
rich enough for me. So she goes off and lives her life, and then he comes sniffing around, and she's like, no. Then they have a
Sounds
relationship.
all too familiar, sir. Go ahead.
Which she turns him down, and she refuses
Yeah.
until our unfortunate Oliver Platt scene.
Well, and then they get
Yes.
together. They have a relationship. But then to save Venice, she sleeps with a king, and he gets pissed.
Yeah. I know.
You
And
know,
goes off to war.
dude,
Pissed
yeah.
off
you
at
know
her.
what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Jealousy.
Yeah, it's like,
Right. That's what it is.
did you want the whole city to go down in
So
flames?
not only is prostitution the oldest business in the world, but also men believing the strippers in love with them, also the oldest situation in the world. She really loved me.
Yeah.
Sucia.
Yeah.
Which goes back to our story yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So Sherry's doing the Scarlet Letter next year.
And the Crucible.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see what else can we do.
I mean, those stories
That's
do
a
with
little
me.
House in
Yeah.
Texas.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is a really good one.
But I will tell you this: if they hadn't stood up and helped her, I would have gone to
Yeah.
Venice and burned it down.
Yeah.
I was like, for all the stuff
Oh,
she
no,
did
you
for
were
you
rooting
dudes,
for
and not one
Veronica.
of you was going to stand up and go, yeah.
I love this. So he was so mad about the women, but he actually got into this story and he was rooting for Veronica. Did you clap at the end?
No, I
just
didn't
wanna
clap
know.
at the end. No.
Yeah, all your bros stood up. I'm sure you're like,
You got to understand. I dislike any time when you have a government entity or the church being as heavy-handed as that is, when all of them are hypocrites.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
And I just, that has always run a theme through me of, I just can't stand that. So the church was not
Yeah.
innocent in any of these things. If you go back and
someone
read
else
the
would
time.
like to stand up, Cardinal.
And the Cardinals involved in all this. And, when you see that and you see that kind of injustice against somebody who's trying to survive and trying to feed their family, like that's just wrong on so many different levels. So that's what bothered me about it is, I don't, I wish she'd have found a better way to live her life. And obviously, it's a different time and you got to eat. But
But she's still, even in her repentance, she confessed everything. Very honestly, that she realized, that this was not the life that she should have lived or wanted to live. But she said that she was forced, out of necessity.
The mother pushed her.
Yeah.
Well, the mother told her the convent or basically the whorehouse, and she chose the convent initially, and then she saw the unfortunate haircuts and was like, whorehouse it is.
Wow. Different kind of haircut.
The things that motivate us women.
Right?
Yeah. Many blessings.
Yeah. I got to get the haircut. I quit. Yeah,
Not the hair.
Not the hair. Anything but that.
I really wish I knew how that actually happened in real life, but they didn't speak to that.
There was nothing in the history about that?
No, not that I found.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't like that part a little bit because it's like, oh, the church is so much worse than being a whore the rest of your life.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, okay, the writer had issues. That's all I'm going to say. The writers had issues with that. So
all in all, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was much better than Troop Beverly Hills.
You didn't even see that one yet. Just wait. You were going to go through the roof on this one.
So do you guys grade these movies? Do you give it like an A?
Yeah,
B,
we
C,
do like a
D?
1 through 10. That's what we're waiting for.
I give it a 7.
7?
Yeah,
okay.
I give it a 7. It was much more solid than I thought.
4.5.
Yeah.
I'm a solid 6.5, 7. I think that's a good number. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I just thought, I had my issues with it.
You did. I'm probably like 7.5, 8.5, that range. Like, if you would have asked me
on the
20 years
lighting, because the rest of the movie you're at a 10.
If you had asked me 20 years ago, it would have been like 9 to 10.
Yeah.
But the infidelity,
That's how I feel with Shakespeare in Love. I love
me
that
a little
movie
bit.
too. Yeah.
So it's probably more like an 8.5 now.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
I'd go with 7.5.
Yeah.
I thought there were so many elements that were just, and the storyline, obviously it's a true story, so how can you hate?
Yeah.
Right. True story. Yep.
Yeah.
So we do have.
Now we pick another.
We got to spin the wheel. So we have a wheel of destiny that we load up with all of these movies.
Yes.
We had to purge some of them last time, but we
did.
still have
did
some
house
good ones
cleaning.
on there.
Yeah.
Because there was some. We just took any suggestion that we got the first go around, and we're like, we're not watching that movie if we have to. So
No, one was like Tijuana Toilet Tramps. You didn't want to see that. That wasn't.
Well, quit putting it on the list, Davey.
It was the beaded curtain
So
kind.
I opened the wheel when we first got live, and that's why I was quiet, because the wheel was white. So I had to go back and I had to watch the last episode where we cleaned it up and where we added more. The Wheel of Names like completely betrayed us.
Super producer.
So I've got it resaved and I've got it all worked out. So we can spend it now.
I am so
Spin
afraid
that
of what you
wheel.
left on here.
Right.
It's what you approved last show.
Right.
So it's everything except for Dangerous Beauty from the last Wheel of Destiny.
You
So unless
did all
wanna
of that
add-
while we were live?
Yes.
You're brilliant.
Brilliant.
That's
You
what
are
I
brilliant.
do.
Yes.
All right, so we've got the wheel. So
right.
you get to be here for the big reveal of the next
Love
one.
it.
Here we go.
And you did great. You can come back next time,
Thank
too.
you.
So,
I love a movie.
That's fun. Yeah. Thank you.
what do we got? What are we watching?
Mike's gonna be so happy.
No.
The Gentleman.
Oh, The Gentleman's awesome.
I've not seen
See,
it.
you're so happy.
It is so good.
We went from chicks and now dudes. You would think Davey would be happy.
I mean, the gentleman. What is
Yes.
this about?
Balance.
Look it up real quick.
I'm gonna pull it up.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Okay.
Matthew
Oh, I'm
McConaughey's
not
in
mad
it.
about it. That's
I
actually
love
good.
it. I
It's
love
a
Matthew
really
McConaughey.
good
2019 film. Okay, I'm here for it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a great movie.
It's a crime comedy film written and directed and produced by Guy Ritchie, who developed the story along with Ivan and Marn Davies. The film stars Matthew McConaughey, blah, blah, blah. It's an American drug lord in England who is looking to sell his business, setting off a chain of blackmail and schemes. This is up my alley.
Yeah.
This sounds good to
Yeah.
undermine him. Yeah, I'm excited for this
The
one.
way they tell the story is really fun from a storytelling standpoint.
Yeah.
And then Colin Farrell has a role in this where he is the coach of some young fighters, and how they blend him into this is absolutely hilarious. And his role in it, to me, he should have gotten an Academy Award.
Nomination.
He should have won for supporting actor.
Or at least
He
Sundance.
just
Sundance
every
Film
time he's on
Festival.
the screen,
Okay.
and I'm not a huge fan of his. I'm like, oh, he just nailed that. He just nailed that.
Okay,
It just really, I thought
okay.
he was awesome. In it,
Now
so.
you are a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, some of the stuff he said.
Sherrie, one more time, Tony
Yeah.
Hale shout out. Where can people get tickets one more time?
Okay, Tony Hale is coming to St. Augustine, Lewis Auditorium, March 2nd. Tickets can be on our website, Limelight-Theater with R-E.
Beautiful website, by the way.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
great.
We've renovated it
Looks
recently.
really nice.
.org.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And the Drowsy
And the
Chaperone.
Drowsy Chaperone opens this week. Come
Yes.
see, come see me be drowsy.
There's a whole bunch of bourbon in the next room if you need to take some to prep with.
Lots of inspiration in the next
Yeah,
room.
lots of inspiration in the next room.
Yes.
So, yes.
The code is 904 to get in the room.
All
Yeah.
right. Nice.
Nice.
What date are we talking about this movie?
I don't know.
Let's look on
Last
the
Tuesday of the
calendar.
month is the 25th. Do we have any time constraints or anything?
I mean, I'm owned by St. Augustine, so I don't. I'm here.
Will you be over the Florida Man games by the 25th of March?
25th.
Will you have
25th,
been recovered?
I mean,
You do have a massage and therapy booked the next week, right?
You better.
not me. It would be Pete. It says show.
I don't think Pete's going to let anybody touch him.
I'm holding up the
A massage for Pete's too much like a
network
hug.
here. Yeah. No, I will be here. It'll be after my judging duties for the Celtic Parade. But yeah,
Awesome.
I will be here for
All
the
right,
25th,
25th.
next movie show. Very, very cool. Sherrie, thank you so much for your
Oh,
time.
Yeah,
thank you guys
thank
for
you.
having me. I
Incredible
had,
force.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
so
So
much
you're
fun.
awesome.
Being here and
Yeah.
offering some more estrogen to this conversation.
I beg your pardon. I represent half. Thank you.
I did not feel threatened at a 3-1 odds today. So I just want you to know that.
We know.
Your favorite odds.
All right, we'll see you guys. Tune in tomorrow. Davey's running the morning show. It's probably the best the morning show has ever run. Ever. In fact, he's actually gotten Troy to talk a little bit about his past, which, as you know, if you know Troy Blevins, he never does.
Should've
So
read that,
tune
yeah.
in tomorrow for more Troy Blevins stories.
Bye, everybody.